Hi, Jam. How are you, babe? Let's go to Mexico and have some fun. Now, I need to see some Latin men. Now. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for your funny email the other day about the squirrel. It has been quite interesting having this new little dude around. It's all good. Yeah, and I hope you're doing well. Are you in Portland or Cabo right now? Hi, Lauren. Nice to see you. Got some good things to talk about today. Somebody's hit me with a lot of love this morning. Thank you for that. Yeah. So, Lauren, we need to hang out this week sometime. I hope that happens. We'll start brainstorming about some interesting things. By the way, hey, Lance, nice to see you. By the way, Lauren, I have some ideas that we should work on together with this meditation stuff. So let's talk about that. I'm going to roll that series out this week. Hi, David. How are you, my friend? Nice to see you guys. Okay, cool. So, Lauren, just holler at me or let's connect in some ways, some way this week, okay? That'd be cool. And you can bring Dahlia over and we will play with the squirrel Jasper. That'd be kind of fun. I think she might think that's kind of cool. Yeah, so today I'm going to be talking about the right and wrong reasons that people are in relationships. And you know, this is all about a series on how to develop an unconditional relationship. But today I want to talk about really why people get into them, and over a 25 plus year career in marriage and family therapy, counseling, coaching, and all sorts of stuff, I've really realized that there are people that get into relationships all the time and then they get stuck. And so today's going to jar you out. If you've been stuck in a relationship, then you'll know why you've been in it and what you need to do to move out of it, what you need to look for. And if you're looking for that love of your life, then this will give you a foundation for what your priorities, I believe, should be. Okay, so off we go. Here we are, my friends. And by the way, buckle your seatbelt, grab your journal, grab your pen, and let's do some exploring. So, there is a concept in the world of therapy that people merge together to really have their own needs met. Now, I think that's somewhat slightly cynical, but I think there's also some truth to that people get into friendships or relationships, partnerships, business arrangements because they have some internal need and they want to have that need met. Now, bear in mind, if you have a need that you're trying to have met by someone or something outside of you, you have an externalized locus of control. Hello, Tom Luckemeyer. Nice to see you, brother. You have an externalized locus of control, so you're looking for your sense of happiness outside of you. You're hinging your happiness on someone or something, and that's a dangerous, slippery slope because, frankly, you're not ever going to find that sense of deep, profound connection within yourself if you're always looking outside for something to fulfill you. So, grab your pen. Here are the wrong reasons that people get into relationships. First of all, the need to change someone. Oh my God, guess what? You can try all day, but the bottom line is if somebody doesn't want to change and grow and evolve and become the person they're destined to be, they will never change. So if you're in a situation right now where you're trying to change some aspect of the spouse or partner in your life, or a friend for that matter, you're wasting your time. Stop. You're just getting stupid, because trying to change another human being will not work. Now, if you're a caregiver and you have some deep felt heart desire to make them feel better or make them do better or whatever, that's still your attempt to try to change them. So, number one, do not believe that you can ever change someone in the context of relationships. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're in a good relationship, you will change together, but it's about your intention, your motivation. Here's number two. People have a need for relationship out of neediness or clinginess. They think they have to be fulfilled by someone else. They have some innate fear that they're trying to mitigate, and ultimately that's tied to some sense of insecurity. Most of the people that I've worked with over my career, there's almost always some insecurity that you're trying to mitigate by connecting with that other person. For instance, maybe you find that you think you're less attractive, and so you shoulder up with somebody who's more attractive than you. You're bolstering your self-esteem. Well, that's a bunch of horseshit, because if you really get right down to it, you're beautiful, you're perfect, you're divinely inspired. You don't need somebody a piece of eye candy on your arm to make you feel good. And frankly, that's just going to leave you on a crash course toward desperation. Okay? Now, oftentimes people get into relationships because they have a sense of unworthiness. They don't really love who they are. And, I hate to sound cliche, but that old adage that you can't love someone else unless you love yourself, that is absolutely and profoundly true. And so how do you love yourself? Because if you are not loving yourself, you're spewing your own need on someone else, that need to feel worthy. And unfortunately, it's not ever going to work for you. I have to tell you that straight up. Okay, here's another reason people get into relationships. And this is historically rooted. It's out of obligation. Hi, Shelley. Nice to see you. It's out of obligation. It's the right thing to do. It's what your parents thought. It's what you think you should do for your career. It's an obligatory pursuit of meaninglessness. That is absolutely insane. Hi, Linda. Nice to see you, beautiful. So, do you have fear that's driving you? Do you have a desire to change someone? Do you have some insecurity or unworthiness that's driving you toward relationships? Are you doing your relationships out of obligation because you think you have to or you think you need to? Are you operating out of neediness or clinginess? Or are you trying to exhibit some form of control? Now, let me talk about that one for a moment, because there's all sorts of buzz about narcissists. I love that. I love the fact that we're so fixated on narcissists. Here's the thing a narcissist is. A narcissist is... Oh my God, somebody is just screaming over here. You guys, we got big work to do. Shut the hell up. That's kind of funny. Hi, Trevor. How are you, buddy? So, here's the thing. If you are involved with a narcissist, or if you are a narcissist is nothing more than a wounded, scared, little insecure human being trying to have their needs met. They're driven out of fear, and they exhibit control as a means of getting their needs met. So, do an analysis right now of your relationships, all of them. And if you feel controlled in any of them, then I take a step back, because control has no place in the context of a loving relationship. It cannot have a place in a loving relationship. Unworthiness has no place in a loving relationship. Obligation. Guess what? You have a choice. You make that choice every single day you get out of bed. You don't have to be obligated because someone told you it was the right thing to do. Do you know that I lived in a closet for 39 years out of obligation? Got married, had children, obligation, what I thought I was supposed to do, because that's the way I believed that I was supposed to be in the world. I was being inauthentic. So let me drill that down a little bit for you. The right reasons that someone gets into a relationship are to create a merged life of purpose. A merged life of purpose. Think about your own relationships right now. Does it feel like a merged life of purpose, or does it feel like two ships passing in the night? Sure, I think that both spouse and partner, both partners need to have the freedom to do their life the way they want to. But there needs to be a core unifying merged purpose to your journey. And I believe that so much that I also think that there is a specific person in your world eventually, when you open your heart up, when you crack open and you're ready to receive the type of love that you deserve, there is someone out there that will have the same desire, the same purpose, the same intent on how to live your life. So evaluate your relationship right now and ask yourself, do I have a merged life of purpose with the people that are closest to you? Now, a side note about that. A lot of times we collect friends along the way, and maybe you're that person that collects all the wounded birds, and you're seeing your purpose in their relationships to make them feel better, give them security, whatever it may be. That's not what I'm talking about, because that's neediness and clinginess. You're operating out of your own shit. No. I mean yoking up together and doing something great. Here's the second really right reason that we get into relationships: to grow in love together. But that's a twofold journey: to learn how to love yourself fully and openly, and how to extend that love outwardly to someone else, to share love, to share a sense of connection that transcends other people. So if you have fear and insecurity in your life, you might not be growing in love together. You might not be. Okay, how about this idea? A really right reason to be in relationships is to create something beautiful together. Maybe it's a family, maybe it's a business, maybe it's a mission that you're living out. Create something beautiful together. Maybe it's artwork or music or something that unifies your soul. That's really beautiful. I believe that ultimately we're in relationships for two reasons. Number one, to experience the divine within us, the divine in that other person, and that other person happens to serve as a mirror for us to see when we are out of the divine connection. A mirror. Have you ever thought about it this way? The people that bug you the most, the buttons that get pushed the fastest, those are all about you. You're reacting because there's something inside of you that's being triggered. You're making meaning out of someone else's actions. And that's because you're disconnected from your own divine essence. And I think in the context of relationships, ultimately, if we're on this journey to do two powerful things: experience the divine within us, the divine in creation, and the divine in other people, the other reason that we're in relationships is to heal and grow together. You know, we come into relationships, all of us are wounded. All of us have baggage. We got a bag full of rocks, of bullshit that we carry into relationships. And my only rule about relationships is just know what's in your bag and be able to unpack it, and don't throw those rocks at me on the way, right? But if we heal and grow together, then we allow each other to do the second most important thing in this world, and that is to learn how to love unconditionally. So relationships are the fertile ground. They're the research laboratory, the petri dish of life and love and experience and adventure, and knowing that you can transcend those negative, shitty stories that you've been taught a lifetime. Okay? So what do you do if you're in a relationship? Here's some advice that I'd like to share. First of all, don't try to change your partner, but give your spouse or partner the space to show up well. Give them space. You're not the same human being. They're not the same as you. So give them the space and hold that space for them to journey into their own soul. Hold that space. And how do you do that? Well, you do that by abandoning all your conditions, all your judgments, all your expectations, abandoning the way that it should be or could be or you wish it would be, and simply knowing that that person is in your life for a divine reason. And holding that space means communicating very clearly to the people that you love that they can show up as they choose. They can create their day as they choose. Not this needy, clingy bullshit up under each other kind of business. No. Journey together on two separate journeys, merging. I think that we must, to really grow in a fertile relationship, we must honor and appreciate that other person. I mean, profoundly honor them. Hi, Lori. It's so nice to see you. Honor them in our words, honor them in our actions, honor them in our touch, honor them in our intimacy, honor them in their expression. It's about celebrating the other person. It's not about competition, it's about celebrating the other person. And I think that that's predicated on the idea that you're able to accept yourself fully, and you're able to accept the other person as they are as well. Acceptance is critical. And that means that you allow people to grow and expand and explore. And, you know, how many times have I heard people say, oh, my husband's picked up the hobby of fishing and it just pisses me off. All he wants to do is be out with his buddies. All he wants to do is this or that. Or my wife's doing this. Or, Brianna, yeah, shut the hell up. Really what you're doing is judging the growth of that other person. My husband just writes a lot and reads a lot. Well, maybe your husband or your spouse is writing and reading because they're learning about how to be a better human being. Who knows? Who cares why? Allow them and give them a free open range of acceptance. I think that we should, in relationships, be compassionately challenging. Now, what that means, though, is not busting the other person's balls all the time. It's about compassionately inviting them to be a better human being. I saw this about you, and it concerns me because I think it's limiting your growth and potential. And I want to see the very best for you, and so I'm going to offer this insight. But bear in mind, if you don't want to honor this insight or take it for what it's worth, then that's okay too. You know, a lot of times what we need to do is take each other at face value. Because what happens is, as we're trying to change in the context of relationships, we hang on to the past, and we can't take someone at face value. We can't allow them to change in the moment. We keep them fixed in a reality, and guess what? That's pretty fucked up. In fact, that's mean. To have someone fixed in the reality that you think they are. You've always been an asshole, you're still an asshole. Who the hell are you? You've always been bitchy and naggy. Well, guess what? Maybe there's a reason. There's a need that hasn't been met. Now, the last thing I want to invite you to do in your relationships is practice radical honesty. Radical honesty is a concept that means there are no secrets whatsoever. No secrets, no lies, no deceptions, no half-truths, no non-disclosures. Radical, profound honesty. This is who I am. This is what I'm thinking about. This is what I struggle with. These are the wounds that I'm working on. Because without radical honesty, the person in the relationship, the two people in the relationship, can't really grow together. You're really just weeding through dishonesty on some level. So radical honesty is what an unconditional relationship is really predicated on in so many other ways as well. Radical honesty means saying the times when it hurts. Radical honesty is speaking the truth when you know that the truth might sting. Radical honesty is being incredibly vulnerable and open and accepting and loving of yourself and knowing that that other person's not going anywhere. And by the way, let me say a side note about that. Hi, Joseph. Nice to see you, brother. A lot of times we have these contracts. Let's get married. Let's have a piece of paper. Let's do this and do that so we know that we're secure and safe in our relationship and we can let our hair down, we can take a breath, and we can grow together. But here's what's interesting about that. That's just a piece of paper. Really what that requires is faith in the other person and faith in yourself that no one is going anywhere. Now, granted, if it's real shitty and if it's not working, then you need to do everything in your power to try to make it work, try to have the conversations, try to express the love, try to move out of your past stories. But if that's undoable, then it's okay to walk away. It's completely okay to walk away because we're designed to be on this journey to grow together. And I believe that you will find that person that you can have a merged life of purpose with, to grow in love together, to allow space for them to explore who they are, and to become the most beautiful person possible. So, speak your truth. Speak your love. Abandon your expectations and conditions and judgments. Practice radical honesty in every aspect of your life. By the way, here's an insight as well. You cannot practice radical honesty with someone else until you're practicing it with yourself. And so I'm going to give you a challenge today. Hi, Michelle. I'm going to give you a challenge. As you're thinking about this concept of radical honesty and building the relationship that you want and growing and expanding and loving together and stepping into your divine essence, what I want you to do is go deep. Go deep within yourself and ask the hardest questions. Ask questions about how you think and how you feel and why you act and what you do and how you judge and how you're critical and what conditions you have and what expectations and where your rules come. It is a deep, profound dive. And if any of you are interested in really taking that dive deliberately, I want to invite you to go to my website, upsizeyoursoul.com, and I'm going to send you a whole list of hundreds of questions that you can journal about that will take you on a journey of self-discovery that will transform you in a big, bold, beautiful way. So let me tie a bow around it. You deserve it. You create it. You manifest it. Or you tolerate it. What's your choice today? Let's have some radical honesty and have a beautiful day. My name is Trey Malacote, and that's the Unconditional Relationship Day 5. Tune in tomorrow, and I think I'm going to talk about twin flames and soul brothers and sisters and all sorts of other really interesting stuff. Thank you for journeying with me. I hope this has been helpful. Please like, share, comment, and be well, friends.